we created a thing. You like it. Here's even more of it. So it feels really exciting.
It's been 2 years. We just hope people remember it.
Right, that.
Do you guys find that sort of like the energy, the excitement coming into season 2 is different than season 1? Like, Andy, let me ask you, how do you feel now as opposed to the way you felt when season 1 was coming up?
I think with season 1, there was a bit of that nervousness of not being sure if people were going to like it, if it was going to read, you put your heart and soul and blood, sweat, all this into something, and we love it all so much. And Greg created this incredible world. So you're like, please like it. And now, I think season 2, we got, a bit of our sea legs and people really enjoy it. So now it's just more excitement. Still want people to like it. But there's a little more ease and just excitement of like, all right, we created a thing. You like it. Here's even more of it. So it feels really exciting.
It's been 2 years. We just hope people remember it.
Right, that.
Now, you guys you filmed this last year. So, probably new quarantine or excuse me, COVID procedures and all that stuff. Robbie, how was that experience going into filming this season as opposed to the way season 1 was?
It was a bit of a bummer, but at the same time, we knew how lucky we were to be working. I mean, the world was going through something way more important than our TV show. So everybody took it very seriously. The testing protocols in place from Amazon were really tight, and we got through it. The sad thing is, it took the same amount of time to shoot 7 episodes as it took to shoot 10 pre-COVID. And that's just the way things were. Everything was a little slower. Everything was a little more careful. We were lucky in that, we all kind of lived in this little bubble. So we got to spend time amongst ourselves. And I honestly, if you watch the show, I don't think there's anything that tells you that it was shot during COVID. We were able to do it in the same way. It just took a little longer. So I think we're really lucky, and I think we made something really special. And I think anybody that liked the first season is going to really love the second.
Completely agree with you. I was a big fan of the first season. I've gotten to watch most of season 2 already, and I really like it a lot. Which would lead me to the question I want to pose to Allegra. So here's the thing. I don't want to call Ingrid a villain. I'm not saying that's fair. I'm not saying that's fair, but I would like to know your thoughts on Ingrid and how you approach her. And do you approach her as kind of villainous or no?
No. And I think it's a trap to approach anybody as a one-dimensional kind of mustache twirling villain. Although Ingrid does not have a mustache. And I think for me, the big lesson that she's been for me, that she's represented, is that people that inflict pain have been through a lot of pain themselves. And loneliness and isolation and desperation manifests differently for different people. So while she may not be Nora's favorite person, and she may not be AI Guy's favorite person all the time, she's doing the best that she can with the toolkit that she has, and she's just got really limited resources. So everything she's pursuing is coming from what she thinks is love. So I can't call her a villain. I think she's just trying really hard.
That's a very fair answer. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to chat today. I appreciate it. Upload season 2, Amazon, March 11th. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day. We're here to talk about Upload season 2 coming to Amazon on March 11th. Very exciting. What's the energy level for you guys like right now? Zainab, I'll ask you, like, are you like super pumped? Or are you just kind of like waiting? Like, where are you at?
Oh, no. I am so excited. I'm so excited that my body can't even move. I mean, I think that we've wanted to make it. We all of this happened during a pandemic, and we wanted to get back to work and make it. Season 1, we left off like a really like big cliffhanger, and so we wanted to get back into the world and the story, and we were able to do that. And then after that, it takes a long time for our show. We have CGI, we have a lot of components. with Prime Video, it's released to so many countries all at once. And so there's so much in post-production. And so we've wanted to get this to the people. We know that people loved season 1 and that they're anticipating season 2. And so we want them to have it. And so I'm excited that the moment is approaching for everyone to get it.
Yeah. You know what? I feel that. I'm very excited as well. I've gotten to watch most of it, and it's terrific. Do you guys find, Kevin, let me ask you, do you guys find that it's a little hard to talk about without dropping spoilers? Like, it seems like it's challenging.
No, they sent us this. They sent Amazon a little peek behind the curtain here, Steven. We got we got sent talking points, things to like talk about. And by and large, like the list of things we aren't allowed to talk about is way longer than the things we are. So it's just it's very challenging. It was always very challenging as far as like talking about even the first season, as far as trying to explain the show to people who hadn't seen it. And now it's great because it's the opposite. It's like people have seen it and yet we can't talk about it. So it's very challenging.
And Steven, it's so weird because it's technically a comedy, but there's such a big suspense aspect to the show. That's the reason why it's like it's hard. But I mean, that's what makes the show. That's what makes you go, I gotta watch the next one. I have to watch.
Yep. No, I am absolutely with you on that, because there's definitely a moment we won't speak about here in the first few episodes that I was like, what?
Oh, when I turned the page on that, I was like, just as the cast, I'm like, oh, writer.
I was blown away. My wife and I watch it together. It's like one of our shows that we watch together, and we're both like just so stunned. But we should be careful. Let's go. We'll just talk about catering. That's probably safe, right? How were the bagels?
Delicious. Yeah.
Fantastic. One thing that I really want to ask you guys is, and I don't know, maybe this is kind of like an oddball question, but is it hard to keep a straight face working with Owen Daniels? Because I feel like that would be really hard.
Oh, man.
The AI guy, like the way that he delivers that character is amazing.
Look, okay, out of all the interviews we've got, no one has ever asked this question.
Okay.
Which is spectacular, because that's quite a feat. But let me just say, we were just talking about this. We have like a little thread, text thread, and we were just talking about Owen. Just because he is my favorite character on the show. Like, just because it is ridiculous. It is like a ridiculous outer space character. And like you're watching him, he's doing something that is really difficult to do too. Because they give him these jobs and the personality of the character matches the occupation, but in like a really broad stroke way, but like is also weirdly specific and funny. Like he is hilarious, but he's absolutely on set. You're just like, he's insane. He's an insane person because he's meticulous about his bits. He has a million planned. He's just like he's so frenetic. He's an animal.
And you would think having to juggle like all of that and that personality on screen, you would think that when they say cut and you have a moment to yourself, that he would take the moment. No. But it really is amazing. And I think that what I will say is, and I believe this, I love the show. No one loves the show more than Owen Daniels.
It's so true.
No one loves the show more than Owen Daniels.
That's awesome.
And he brings that to it every single day.
We all have, and this is not a knock on Owen at all, but we all are friends with each other. Like this is a cast, it's a very tight cast, but also we all have other friends. We are Owen Daniels.
That's fantastic. Look,
Owen loves us so much. He just we texting, I get calls. And like all the time. Yeah, I love it. And Owen is a very good, close friend of mine, but Owen is obsessed with the show, with his character.
That is phenomenal to hear. That's amazing. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat today. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Upload season 2 coming to Amazon on March 11th. Very exciting. I've watched most of the show. Most of season 2. I want to confess I've not watched every episode yet because it's a show that my wife and I watch together.
Oh,
And
good.
so if I break the rules,
Yeah, I know.
it's gonna be a doghouse for me. I don't want to get in trouble.
Exactly what you mean.
But it's fantastic. I love it so much, and I love the way that the characters are evolving over this new season. You are so fantastic with working with these ensemble casts. What is it that you like best, kind of, about that aspect of a sitcom or of a half-hour comedy show?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's great when you can find some sort of a topic that allows for an ensemble cast, because you know, you don't get bored. You get a lot of different storylines going, a lot of different people, different backgrounds, different things that are concerning them, and you know, you can kind of follow them from a maker of TV. It's also nice to have one main plot and then another plot going. You can cut back and forth between them, so you don't have to worry about how am I going to get to the next scene. It doesn't matter. I'll cut away to the other plot, and then I'll cut back, and we'll be in the next. You know, so that's kind of a fun thing, and you also you don't necessarily have to lean on the same storylines for every value that's in the show, right? So the show has a mysterious component and a humorous part and romantic, and sometimes it's okay for some characters to be completely romantic and then to cut to like a hilarious thing from another character and cut back, and you can kind of maintain the tone that way without having to put a joke in the romantic moment. And so, yeah, I like an ensemble show.
What would you say, going into season 2, crafting the story, what would you say is the balance between what your goal was and how the story takes shape itself over time as you craft it?
Well, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I think that you don't necessarily end up where you thought you were going to end up, but you usually have the same proportions that you're going for. You know what I mean? Because there's the part where you write it, and then the scripts are like, all right, there's this much mystery, this much romance, this much comedy, you know, and then you shoot it, and then you get the first cut, and it's all out of whack, and then you go into the editing room, and you kind of get it back to where you want it, and so, but you're using different things, you know, things that they found on set or things the director added or the actors and stuff. But yeah, it's a whole process. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and especially so much visual effects, because, you know, we're either in the future, which means, you know, completely different advertising and cars going by and, you know, jokes about what life's like in the future, or we're in this very designed digital life extension that's, you know, supported by a big tech company, and there's all sorts of, everything has to be decided what's happening there too. You can't just point the camera out the window. So
one thing that my 14-year-old and I were sort of having a debate over is, he was watching the show with us, and we were wondering, when you were working on this, do you see this as a future world, or do you see it as like an alternate universe, something different?
Well, you know, unless I'm incredibly accurate with my predictions, it's going to end up to be an alternate universe when you look back. But I think that, you know, there's probably a couple of different ways to experience it, because I think that right now, when it airs right now, it's going to be like, wow, maybe that could happen. But, you know, it's only 15 years in the future, and I'm hoping Prime Video will still exist in 15 years, and people will look back and go, oh, that was an alternate. That was an alternate.
It'll end up being hopefully not prophecy, but, you know, maybe some people would love that. Greg,
so far.
Greg, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.